Hi, I'm Diana Montford, the world's first transgender television journalist. That means, people say, well, what do you mean? It means I was born male, and now I'm not. And if you go on YouTube, you can see me doing interviews many, many years ago. The show's been on the air since we started shooting in 1990. We went on the air in January of 1991. I just thought I'd share that. Anyway, one of our favorite guests, and one of your favorite guests, Ms. Nancy Purnell, artist, educator. You write in, and when we did the first show with Nancy, you wrote in, many of you, and said that is one of the best shows I've ever seen you do. So, since you love Nancy, we love Nancy, and Nancy is back. And she's going to show us her wonderful artwork, and she's going to read to us from a beautiful book of poems called And I Love You So, which she has self-published. And we will tell you how you may view her paintings and get a copy of this wonderful book, which is chock-a-block with not only paintings, but poems written by Nancy Purnell. She's a Renaissance person, if ever there was one. She paints, she sculpts, she writes, she does all sorts of things, and here she is, the one, the only, the multi-talented. And are we lucky to have her, Miss Nancy Purnell. Hi there.
Thank you so much, Diana.
Well, my
wonderful
pleasure.
Introduction.
And every word of it, totally true.
Thank you so much. Now, I'm going to start with a series of nudes paintings. These are all paintings on canvas. And the figure here, it starts where I draw from the models at the Society of Illustrators in New York City. And then I simplify the drawing onto the canvas and then add the paint and start painting the model and the gesture. Now she has a very specific kind of gesture here, and I call it ready. Now you can ask, well, what is she ready for? I mean, I don't really know, but you could figure that out on your own. Now she's placed in a space that's it's not a defined space. You don't know where this is, and that's on purpose, because I want you to figure out where she is, or place her somewhere, or just put it in your imagination. Just keep it there. And the blue kind of gives it sort of a moody kind of look as she just looks into space. Now, we have...
Now, let me ask you
yes,
about this. Now, you have painted her without features, without hair. Mm-hmm. There's a reason for that. What is the reason?
Because I want her simplified in terms of being a universal figure. Mm-hmm. She's not any particular person. She's all of us. Mm-hmm. And you can read yourself into it. Someone else in the audience, you can see it and think, well, maybe I feel like that. That's sort of the way I am. And that's my purpose.
Or men or women who like women can look at this and say,
absolutely,
that reminds me of my girlfriend or my wife.
Sure. Oh, no, it's not. It doesn't have anything, it can be any one of those, of the above, shall we say. So then I have this second the second one, and she, on the other hand, she's kind of meditating. She's I call her fantasy. She's having a kind of a fantasy time, and again, I mean, what is she thinking about? Do you have any idea?
Well, as I said when I first saw it, she reminds me of a Balinese dancer who seems somewhat dancer-ish, and she seems happy to me somehow.
Well, she probably
lost in her thoughts, but happy.
Yeah, but that's good. It's good to be lost in your thoughts and have a little meditation going on in your life. I think it's very important to have some meditation. Now, this is a very different gesture. Tell me about her.
She seems triumphant and completely invulnerable in the best possible way.
But she's arrived, Diana. She's here. Mm-hmm. I am here. That's basically what she's saying. And I am who I am. And I don't really have to deal with complying to anything else. I'm just who I am. And I tried to do that. I tried to give her a strength. And I have light hitting on there. And as you had said something before about painting the figure so that it was what race it is. It doesn't matter. I have browns, I have yellows, I have whites. It's all mixed up. It could be any person in the whole universe. You decide and look into it.
Now, I asked you before we went on, do you take commissions if someone wanted a specific person of whatever gender painted this way with facial features, with her or his actual hair? Would you do that on commission? Would you?
I could. I mean, I'm trained to do that. It's just that I choose not to do that because I like the more universal approach.
Right.
However, I am trained to do that. So if I wanted to do you, and you asked me to, we could do a Diana, and she could be there. Here I am.
Naked Macha,
and
yes.
she could be naked or she could be clothed. You don't have to be naked, but you could be either way. And there she could be, and do her facial look and her hair and so on, so that it becomes Diana specifically. Not
So you would accept
woman of the world.
commissions. You would accept a commission from someone who wanted a painting of herself or himself or a loved one or something.
Well, I also do commissions where I paint. Remember, we had the program on the hand painted photographs.
Yes, and those are so
And
beautiful.
I just finished a commission for someone. I did the house. It was a breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yes.
And that was just marvelous. I just finished it and hand painted the black and white photographs.
Oh, if only you had, do you have that handy? No.
I don't, but maybe we can do that in another show.
On another
I'll bring
show,
it up
yes.
because it is fun.
Well, we have seen it in a previous show, but we didn't mention
Well,
that it was
it's
the
in my
house.
iPhone,
Yes.
but I won't waste the time now since we are on to a few other things. But we will do that later. In fact, I can show you some of the specific homes I have done on Washington Street, Greenwich Village,
Yes.
and just have a little fun
yes,
of the
yes.
commission part, which I'd be happy to do anyone's home. I've done many homes in Martha's Vineyard, the trophy homes and all kinds of historic
No,
homes.
we are not advertising. The thing
No.
is, it is impossible to have a talk show with people who have not done anything with their lives. So when we have guests, obviously we're going to talk about what they do, because otherwise they wouldn't be on a talk show, because if they've done nothing, there's nothing to talk about. So we are not advertising Nancy's wares. We are not selling. But should you wish to have something done by Nancy, you would contact her at faithgalleries@yahoo.com, Nancy Purnell, and you would discuss it. And if she is amenable and you are amenable and you see eye to eye on what you want to have done, it's possible that Nancy might accept a commission to do something for you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It'd be wonderful. Some historic, some favorite place, a jazz club. I'm doing most of the jazz clubs in the city.
And hurry, because they're disappearing.
I
as we
know. I
speak.
turned around. There's another one that is no longer
Isn't that
here.
awful?
I had
My
to run
God.
around like
I
a
know.
maniac almost to get all these jazz
And do you
clubs.
know why they're disappearing? The rents.
The rents. Lennox Lounge. I love the Lennox Lounge. I did get the Lennox Lounge in its original state, and I put it into an art show.
Did they have to move?
Yeah.
Or did
Well, no,
they
it's
just
still there.
disappear?
They didn't disappear. The bar is still there, but it's not the Lennox Lounge as it was.
Right.
The Apollo, of course, is still there, but
Oh,
there's
they
a lot
wouldn't
of
dare. The Apollo's a
there's a lot
landmark,
of funding
isn't it?
for that. I think so.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to move from the
that's
series of
beautiful,
three
yeah.
into a drawing that is in the very beginning of my book, and we're going to talk about this book. I self-published the book, and I Love You So. And this is in the very first. I think, Diana, you read the dedication?
Yes.
Would you mind doing that?
The dedication says, "This book is dedicated with deepest love and affection to a friend and to the island of Martha's Vineyard, a place of love, beauty, and peace." And
That it is. And our technician over here, hi.
Molly.
May we start with the photographs of the paintings that will be followed. Diana and I will read some of the poems that we
And by
wrote
the way,
posting.
Malik, what is your last name?
Parker.
Our wonderful director is Malik Parker.
Yes.
I'm saying that now in case we run out of time, so we know whom to thank for
Absolutely, for his
work.
wonderful work.
Yes.
And so we will start.
And we will alternate reading. I think you should
I
read
think that's a good one. Before I actually start reading the poems, I want to say something about why I self-published this book. I started writing poems about lost love and feelings about love, romance, and passion. I was also drawing nudes from the models and painting oil paintings based on the poses. It became clear to me that the poems and paintings complemented each other to tell a story. I mean, the story was evolving. I began to put poems and paintings together and also made some sculpture. A story began to unfold. And it seemed right to put a book together of this evolving story. And I self-published the book. And this is the result.
And I Love You So by Nancy Purnell. Poetry, original paintings, and sculptures by Nancy Purnell.
So we started the beginning of the book with which we have, Diana read the introduction, dedication, and the next painting is I Lie in This Dune. And it says, my body ready for your touch, but you have gone to another, and I am left in pain, surrounded by seagrass and the wind. These were painted up in Martha's Vineyard in the dunes and the grass. The next picture.
Did you use live models for this?
Yeah, all of the poses were based on live models. Some of the live models I did in New York City, but then I have my sketchbooks and I selected them and reworked and made the paintings. Actually, I made the paintings here as well, but based on the dunes and the Martha's Vineyard dunes. Now, the next painting is I Stand Tall, Waiting for You. And that would be the next. There she is. Would you like to, you said you like that one.
Yes, I love that one.
Okay,
yes.
great.
This is a poem by Nancy Purnell. I stand tall waiting for you. The soft wind on my body feels like your hands touching all of me. But you are not here. Some other woman is getting all of that. While I wait and can no longer bear this loneliness, will you ever know and feel my soul? Or am I doomed to a life without you?
Thank you, Diana. All that drama that you had all your... Thank you so much.
It's easy to inject it with feeling. It resonates with feeling.
Well,
radiates.
thank you. Good. It's supposed to.
These are from the heart. You really... And knowing what I know, I happen to know a little something about Nancy's love life. It's actually quite successful and happy. Why do you write so many things about unrequited love and sadness and all that?
Well, this book was based on a time in my life when I lived on Martha's Vineyard for a period of time, and this evolves out of that period of time.
So you were going through a painful moment.
Right. It's not this. It's not current. It's something from the past.
And why is it that pain resonates with everyone, whereas happiness, even if we've known happiness in love, we always think, oh, if only. Whereas pain, we all think, oh God, yes, I know what that is. Have you noticed?
It's just universal. I think everyone and. You know, if people didn't have any pain, didn't experience any pain, as far as I'm concerned, they haven't lived. Because they haven't ventured onto the edge. They've just stayed in their comfortable zone. Everything's nice and copacetic. So we didn't risk anything. There's no risk.
Does anyone have that kind of life? With no pain, no disappointment, no abandonment?
I think there are people who work very hard to preserve their heart from ever being broken, and therefore you don't risk anything. You don't give out. You don't give of yourself. You might even keep it all inside. And so I think that would be painful to me. Well, they don't have to have pain in another in a relationship because they don't really participate in the relationship. They just go through the motions.
There are people who have been hurt so profoundly that after that they never give all the heart, to quote Yeats.
Well, they probably never will again because they can't, because they don't want that.
Now, having suffered through this, would you give everything now?
Well, yeah, I think you know when you've been there and done that, and we evolve. You know, we're older. I don't mean we're older, but we're experienced. We have the different experiences. So why would you not risk having a beautiful experience later on in your life?
Because you're afraid of getting survived the pain, so you know you can survive.
Because you can get through it. Yes. And why not have the beauty of the experience?
Yes,
I don't know if that answers your question, but That's how I feel.
I agree 1,000%.
Now, the next photograph of the painting is my blouse has fallen to the side of my shoulder. And I think we're going to pull that up. Perfect. This is a painting, I did the model, and she had a sort of blouse kind of on. And it says, the poem is, my blouse has fallen to the side of my shoulder, my breast exposed, waiting to be encircled by your lips, touching my passionate core, and wanting you more than life itself.
You have a really deep capacity for love. I see that from from your poems.
Well, I'm a very passionate person, and some of us are born that way too. Some of us just have a greater maybe depth of feeling,
right.
Or we're not afraid to go to the depths. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's it too. I mean, mm-hmm. I could cover myself up, and I could mm-hmm. stand behind some kind of
as many
door.
People do, sure.
Yeah, because it's frightening. I mean, do you want to go through this? On the other hand, I think you haven't lived unless you have gone through this.
Yes,
because it's never perfect all the way.
It's funny. I once knew a young woman who was truly in love with a man, and he left her. And no, it wasn't me. It was someone else, as you'll find out, because she was so disconcerted that she died of a broken heart. I've known several women like that who have actually died. Always women.
I think you can become physically ill.
Yeah. I would imagine men also do.
Well, I think so too. Yeah. I've seen that happen where they lose their wives, and to them their wife was a complete companion.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're almost like a one person, which I think in a relationship it should be yourself as an individual, you as an individual, and together we're one. We're not just one. But some people lose themselves into each other to the point where they just become one. And so therefore when that half dies, it has to be devastating.
Well, Charles Boyer, when his wife died, killed himself 3 days later.
He did?
He did.
My.
Because he loved her so he couldn't live without her.
Oh. Now the next poem is based on...
a cheerful note. Yes.
No, we'll go to another maybe a more cheerful note. This is a pencil drawing on vellum paper.
To me it looks like a Rembrandt etching almost.
Thank you. And the poem is The Fog Envelops Me. Would you mind reading this poem?
Oh, I would love to. Yes, I better. Yes, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. This poem is by Nancy Purnell. The fog envelops me. Finally, something to touch, to feel the damp clouds caressing my shaking body. Where are you? Once you pursued me, now you find nothing there. You are unable to know what love is. I thought I gave you love and showed you how to share ourselves, but you didn't see or feel, or maybe you don't want to or can't. I am the right woman for you. Sadly, you will not discover our true selves together. Like the fog, a gray cloud between us. My father paid plenty for those acting lessons, I thought.
Well, you're marvelous.
So are you.
Thank you.
I'm only as good as what's written, and you really write
this stuff. Now this is a final original painting that is from the book. It's in the book, and this is.
I can just see that on a living room wall. It's perfect.
Yeah, she's there, and she's in this grassy dune area. I always think too, the body is like a dune.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And because the dune, so it kind of replicates the dune.
Mm-hmm.
At least was my feeling. And in this poem, at your convenience, I was something to enjoy. A moment in time for you, yet another surface thrill. You never knew and cannot comprehend true feelings. Afraid, you ran away, clutching solace, comfortable life, and security. Don't live on the edge, be safe. And you never understood that we did have it all.
It's very sad when a man or a woman is afraid of profound feeling and chooses to not feel it, to run away from it because it is too moving, too deep, and they're afraid of becoming someone else that they will love so completely that they
Yeah.
will lose themselves and become a different
So
person.
just the comfort going along with the day-to-day, you know, what you do in the bathroom, how you get up in the morning, breakfast is ready, you know, this whole routine.
Some people don't want to love deeply. They want that quotidian.
We want the routine. We want to be out together every night at 6 o'clock. We want to do all these things because it's simpler. It makes it easier. I don't go for that, but there are people who do. And so I was coming to the point now where I'm saying, what does this loss mean? And we just talked about that. Some people live on the surface. Everything has to be fun. Why does there have to be more? This is a good and profound question. Why does there have to be more than just fun? Why does there have to be more? Because some people want more. Some people need more. And some of us have a soul that does touch another beyond the surface, into the depths of true feeling, and that's really what happens. Now, in closing from the book, I'd like to, I think we're okay with the time.
Yes.
I'd like
7 minutes left.
I'd like to do a little bit from a review. When I self-published this book, I had book signings in Martha's Vineyard, and I had an article in the Martha's Vineyard Times about my book. And I just want to read a little bit of a section of it. He says, the author of this, Samuel White, there aren't any faces. It's enabling the viewer to identify with the women on their own, without me saying this is what it is. You have to allow the reader to bring themselves into it and see themselves as part of the whole. And we kind of touched upon that earlier, where it's part of the whole. It's not a specific individual. She's part of the universe. She's just there, and she has a kind of suggested face, but she could be anyone's face. And then towards the end of this article, I'll close with this. The greatest achievement of Mrs. Purnell's book is the union of language and visual art. I love that. The paintings and the poems describe a similar lyricism in their style and tone, with many of the poems referring directly to their companion pieces, meaning the poem does directly refer to the painting. And ultimately, the artwork elevates the written word as opposed to merely illustrating it. So I wanted this to elevate the written word of the poem, the painting, to elevate that, not just to be a little illustration of the poem. And there's a difference there. There's clearly an emotional foundation on which a strong body of work could be built, while the concepts of love and love lost have been thoroughly canonized by generations of poets. Novel material continues to be written. Novel material. Mrs. Purnell is brave to navigate these hazardous waters, and her book will certainly find its audience. That's a really nice review, and I think it's very to the point, and I hope it does find its audience. It has found many audiences.
Well, obviously.
And here you are, and you are a potential audience too.
No,
Thank you.
My pleasure. How can people, frankly, get a copy of this book?
They can contact me at faithgalleries@yahoo.com, and I will.
That would be Nancy Purnell at faithgalleries.com.
The actual email address is just faithgalleries@yahoo.com. Just go to that and say, I'd really like a copy of your book, and I love you so, and then I will email you back and give you the cost and the mailing and delivery, etc.
And I don't really usually recommend stuff because I guess I shouldn't. I should remain impartial. But this book is quite moving and will be a companion to you for the rest of your life, because feelings have no age, and it will be a good thing for your children to read someday, to know that there are timeless feelings that never go. They really, we're all more alike than we are different, and
we really are. Absolutely. That's part of the whole point of this whole book. The feelings that I've had, met other people. I'm sharing, really. I'm sharing what I've been through or what I know, and some of it maybe is just something I imagine, but it's there, and I I'm happy to share it with someone else.
And also, you
can share it with someone else again.
And a lot of people don't, and this is a primer for those who need a kind of dose of courage. Well, if Nancy can survive this, maybe I can too. And then you can find love and maybe take your lumps, but also grow it.
Well, you grow with all of this, you know, and you see things at a broader spectrum. And it doesn't mean the pain is any less, but it does mean that you've grown and you can see the broader picture.
Now, you were married. You were married for years, and you have 2 children, twins, and all that. So, I mean, you know about.
I've been there.
Right, the day-to-day.
Yes.
Get the kids ready for school, and help the husband go off to work, go to your own job, blah blah blah. You know all this, but you also know the soul-stirring, making love in a meadow.
Yes, absolutely, because there she is. You know. That's pure passion and meditation, and she's just in oblivion there.
Yes.
She's wonderful.
Yes.
Very happy person. Yes. Very satisfied, I think, too.
Yes.
Nothing's bothering her. I don't think anything is bothering her. She's just relaxing from maybe a great
Martha's
experience.
Vineyard should be very happy with how you're touting their joys and meadows and
it's a wonderful place.
Yes.
It is.
I've never been there, believe it or not. I've never been. I avoid the sun because when I was 23, a dermatologist told me that it would help me to not get too many wrinkles. And
well, you can still go up there and cover up. I can
wear
one of those white things.
And I will indulge in wild, passionate love in the dunes and but no sun. No sun. Thank you. Change my soul, if you will, but keep that sun off me, damn it. Okay. So anyway, now if people want to view your paintings, they can go also to Faith Galleries at yahoo.com, and they can see paintings that you have, and you do accept commissions.
Yes.
If you want to, and the other person, if you connect. It's not just about you. Nancy has to like you too. I mean, it has to work, you know? It's not like, well, here, Nancy, here's $5,000. This is what I want. No. It has to work.
Well, it will. You know, it does. You talk and you kind of get to know the person and get to know their feelings and their emotions. And but one thing is with this.
We only have 43 seconds left. Time to go. Okay, my guest has been the wonderful Nancy Purnell, and you can contact her at Faith Galleries at yahoo.com. Nancy,
and I will send you artwork that way, or pictures of my artwork.
And you can also get her wonderful book, And I Love You.
Thank you so much.
And I'm Diana Montford. This has been the Diana Montford Show. You know how much I love you, even if no one else loves you. I love you. You matter to me, and we don't even have to go out on the dunes. I just love you because you're you. And I'll see you next time, and I love you a lot. Bye.